What's up, everybody? Hope you're having a good weekend. I'm doing a special one for you that some people requested to show how to use Engineering Robo. I'm going to show you a couple of different methods, both for spot plays and for people that want to do lower time frame scalp trading. So I'm going to get into that here in a second. I do believe that the bull market's going to pump. I think we're going to have a much bigger alt season than what you've seen so far, which really haven't seen much at all. So I think that'll happen sometime in October, but of course, timing is the hardest thing to know. I do believe we will get one more small, dip or maybe some more sideways from Bitcoin as we get near the rate cut, meeting from Powell, which will happen around, I think, the 18th or the 20th, something like that. So expect some volatility around that time, maybe just a little bit after that. But then once we get into, the early part of October to the mid part, I do believe we're going to have a pump. So Engineering Robo, a lot of you use it that are watching this video. And if you do, you might want to skip this part because I'm just going to show how to sign up for the 7-day free trial. So you can skip ahead. I will timestamp everything to make it easy for you to find. But for those of you that haven't, hit the like, hit the subscribe. I talk a lot about Engineering Robo, Nansen, smart money trades, that sort of thing to get you in early, to keep you from round tripping. None of this financial advice, but I have tools here that I use that's going to help you, because I don't want to see you round trip, and I want to see you get in as early as possible in these plays. So I do have right here, in the description below, you're going to see two links. You're going to see one for our Discord, and you're going to see one for the 7-day free trial for Engineering Robo. In our Discord here, if you don't want to have to chart any of this yourself on TradingView, and you just want to do spot plays, and we do have a channel that has all of these buy signals, sell signals. You can see here where I'm scrolling up where it had sell signals before. So we track on a daily chart basis buy and sell signals for each of these tokens so that it makes it easier for you. However, that's what you would do if you were going to, not chart it yourself. You just join our group. But the flip side of that is, if you want to be able to chart it yourself, then just go ahead and get Engineering Robo for 7 days, for free, and try it out, see if you like it. And I'm going to show you some examples here for both spot and leverage trading. But before I do that, let me show you how to sign up. So I did a little testing account here. If you click that Engineering Robo 7-day free trial below, it's going to bring this page up for you. So I'm just going to put in some test information here, a little test email that I've got. And when it asks, where you heard about this from, just hit other and type in bike for sale. But in the TradingView username, it's very important that whatever username you use on TradingView is what you use right here. So for example, right here, mine is bike for sale. So that's what you would type in there. Whatever your TradingView username is, you type it in right there and then you hit register. So once this happens, I think it's probably maybe it's going to do some kind of thing where I have to check my email. We'll see. Taking it a second. Okay, there we go. It came to my email, so I'm here on the other screen. You can't see what I'm doing, but it is saying that I signed up over here. What you would do from this point is you would find the 7-day free trial. Here it is right here. So here's the first row. Here's the second row. It's the first one on the left here on the second row. Just click that. So you're going to start your 7-day free trial. You're going to add it to the cart and then go through all of that. Now, once that happens and you've had a chance to look at it, you may want to come back, and I'm going to show you here, if you're somebody that likes to scalp, then you're going to want access to the Engineering Robo chat group and the Engineering Robo VIP alerts, where it's going to show you volume information. And so this is very important for scalping, and I'm going to show you later. First, we're going to get into the spot plays, and then we'll get into the scalp plays, and I'll timestamp those below so you know what's what. But, once you do the free trial, if you decide that you want to buy it, of course, you come back here, you get the lifetime membership, or you try one of the other, the basic category. Just understand that the lifetime AI membership right now, or right here, this is the only one that allows you to get access to, the AI buy, AI sell view. The other two are the premium version, and they look a little bit different. If you like the features of this one, then this is the one you're going to want. But try the 7-day free trial first and just see if you like it. And then when you come back, if you're a scalper, then what you want to do is you hit the pricing and you go to, let's see, is it, oh, this isn't the right thing, sorry. I was trying to find the VIP access here. Anyway, if that happens, just reach out to me and I'll help you find the VIP access, you know, to get to the Telegram. Or all you have to do is click this thing right here where it says, how can I help you? You click here and you can, you click this right here and you type in, you know, a live person will actually help you here. So if you want the VIP access to the, you know, the scalping portion on Telegram with Engineering Robo, then this is where you would type that in, let them know. Okay, so we got that out of the way. So for the spot plays, I want to show you what happened just today, actually. We had a huge move, and this is going to really tie into scalping as well. So here's a buy signal. It got just above the green cloud here immediately and had a huge 150% pump. I think it was almost 200% really. And it came up here to this resistance line that I have marked. So this was a very easy play. I mean, just at face value, you could have bought at the buy signal and held this thing. I mean, you could continue holding it until it gives you a sell signal if you want, kind of like it did back here. But, you know, number one, you definitely have to see it get above the red cloud here because that gives you more conviction. So I'm going to show you, let me just pull up, here's what I wanted to pull up for you. So these are the rules for feeling like you have a more confirmed breakout. Because you can see sometimes it will chop around near support right here. So if you want to be certain, you know, that this thing is actually breaking out for real instead of just chopping around in here, number one, you have to have 3 out of 5 of these, by the way. So I'm going to type that in here. You need 3 out of 5 confirmations. So out of these 5 things right here, I need 3 of them. So I've got my buy signal here. It also broke out of the red cloud here. So it broke above the red cloud. Social intelligence score is in the green up here. I don't have the dashboard open. I mean, that's 3 right, you know, already. But you could also open up the dashboard here. And when you open that, you're going to see if smart money is in or out of the token. Currently, it says it's balanced. On total market cap, you know, smart money is in. But on smart money for this particular token, it says it's balanced still. We see that the RSI is overbought. So there's a lot of other information here. You see that every time frame is bullish. That's a good sign. It's got a very strong AI social intelligence score. It means a lot of people are talking about it on Twitter or, you know, Reddit. But clearly we have our 3 out of 5 confirmations. So, you know, we don't really need this necessarily, but it is another thing that you can use. One of the other things that you can use is if you're comfortable with charting, you know, you could put you a downtrend line right here. You're just connecting 2 peaks right there. This was kind of like a fake out right here, but it did break above that. So this is that other confirmation here. That's your technical pattern that you had a breakout. And you know, that's really 4 out of 5 confirmations, right? So that's plenty. But, you know, clearly very easy play had you been watching it and if it was one of the tokens that you cared about. So yeah, this was an easy play that happened today. But one thing I wanted to mention, and I'm going to show this here in just a little bit on some other tokens, is when you get a token, and let me see if this is the case on this one. Okay, this one almost hit 100%. So if a token hits 100% move, you know, moving up in one day, or even moving down in one day, you know, those are the moments where you want to try to find you a position, whether it's shorting or longing. But in this case, we're going to show shorting. And I'm going to get into that here in just a little bit. First, I want to talk about some more of these spot plays. So let's get into that first. Okay. So here, excuse me, here is GraphLink. This is one that I actually showed on my Twitter here. It's on my profile. And this is how some of you came across Engineering Robo to begin with. But, you know, it was just showing there was a buy signal here. There were some sell signals here at the top. And it was a really easy play. You know, it was about a 40x play from bottom to top there. So if we look at this, you know, as it was actually taking place, and I've got the replay all set up here. So currently we're under the cloud. So there's really no reason to consider taking a long just yet, right? But at the same time, we want to be considering these 3 out of 5. Tuck that in here. Okay. So we need 3 out of 5 confirmations. So I'm going to start hitting the play button here, and we're just going to move ahead till we get a buy signal. Okay, there's our first buy signal right there. We're still under the cloud. Are any of these hitting just yet? Let's see. So we got a buy signal. We're still under the cloud, so that one doesn't hit. So I've got a check mark here at the first one. This one doesn't fit. Smart money is still out. It's saying it's balanced. They're not in, or they're really not in or out. But the main thing is they're not in. Social intelligence score is a 3, and we have no technical indicators. This downtrend hasn't really broken out just yet. So all we have really is an AI buy signal. There's nothing else. Well, actually, I take that back. We do have a social intelligence score that's green. So we don't have 3 signals yet. Let's see what happens as we go forward. So it did give us a sell signal. It was a fake out temporarily, but then all of a sudden it gave us another buy signal right there. I'm going to zoom in for you so it's easier to see. I understand that if you get a big buy candle, let me just see how big this was at the time. Well, it was only 10%. Just understand that sometimes on a pretty good move, usually it's 50% or more, but even on this 10% candle, it came down and retested 50% of that move, almost 60%, and then it was ready to go again. So you got your buy signal, you got faked out temporarily, but you got right back in, or you considered getting back in here. So here, if we drew our trend line, and yeah, I mean, it actually held that line right there, right? So we got a buy signal, just very temporarily got a sell signal on the daily chart, and the very next day it gave us another buy signal. So what do we have? We have a buy signal, we have a breakout, and we have a green social intelligence score. So we have 3 of the things, we have 3 of the confirmations that tell us it's good to go, that we can go ahead and take this trade. Let's move this out of the way. Let's start moving forward. Here we go. Now we're in a true breakout, and things are really moving now. It broke above the green cloud there. Yeah, we're going to get up here. I've got this box here because it gave us another buy signal, I believe, here somewhere. But you did get a temporary sell right there, but you stayed above the green cloud, right? So you could have stayed in this trade as long as it was above. These still hold true. So you just flip them on the, you flip it to see if it's time to sell. So you've got a sell signal. You're still in the green cloud. So that's, this one doesn't fit. All you got so far is a sell signal. Is smart money in or out? Smart money is in. So if they were out, then that would be another confirmation you could add to the list. Social intelligence score is still green. It has to be red to take a sell, and it has to be 3 out of 5 confirmations. Are there any technical patterns here? I mean, there's a little bit of one right there. If you were to connect these lines right here, it did dip under there temporarily, but this only gave you 2 confirmations. So this was not a true sell signal, even though it gave you one. That's why these 3 out of 5 confirmations are important, because this would have been a fake out. So here we go. We're going to keep going. Still holding above that green area. Kind of came down below it just temporarily. Everything's still looking real green over here as well on the dashboard. And we're just going to look for that next 3 out of 5 confirmations telling us it might be time to start selling. Okay, so we're below the red cloud now. We've got a sell signal, and we have a, let's see if I can draw this technical pattern that would be correct. I mean, you could say that this right here was a technical breakdown on a daily chart. So really, this is 3 out of 5 confirmations, but let's just keep going and see what it shows us. Yeah, it's still rejecting, it's still rejecting. Let's see if it can get back above. I really don't remember what it did. Yeah, there we go. So it did temporarily get back above, but did this buy signal really give you anything? I don't know if it did or not. There may have been you may have gotten 3 out of 5 confirmations here. So you could have gotten back in here, but I think it's going to reject again from what I remember. Yeah. So there you go. You could have gotten right back out. So after this huge amount of money that you made on that 40x move, you could have possibly gotten back in, but just understand that when there's a big 40x move like that, there's going to be some kind of consolidation. It's not just going to keep going. So here we go. I mean, you got a buy signal there, but we're under the red cloud. There's not 3 out of 5 confirmations. This thing's looking really bearish at this point. You're getting a lot of red over here as well. I don't know if it ever recovered after that. I don't think that it did. Well, it tried to right there, didn't it? You got a buy signal, green cloud. It was a breakout, so this was a buy signal, but now you're getting red again. I really don't remember what it did at this point. Yeah, I mean, you could have made a little bit more money here, I guess. But there it goes again, breaking down and rejecting on the red cloud. So see how accurate this thing is? It can really make you a lot of money. Short term, you could even go down to like a 3-hour or 45-minute chart as well and make money on that. But I'm not really going to get into that this time. You can see that this was the true top way back here. And we used our 3 out of 5 confirmations to find that. So I hope that makes sense. If it doesn't, let me know in the comments below. I'm going to move ahead to another one here. This is SNSY. Same thing here. We're looking for 3 out of 5. Remember, we're only talking about spot plays currently. I'm going to get into I know a lot of you wanted to know about the scalp plays as well, and I'm going to get into that here in a minute. Okay, so we're under the red cloud. We did have a buy signal here, but was this an actual? Let's just see if this was an actual good trade for us. I don't know where this was such a crazy downtrend right here after it was initially launched, but this trend line's close to being right. I'm not saying it's perfect, but this was kind of a breakout there. There's a buy signal, but social intelligence score was red. What else? Smart money is still out. They're not in, and it's below. So there's not 3 out of 5 confirmations here. There's only 2. Let's move forward here. Yeah, we got a sell signal there, so that tells us, yeah. I mean, another thing you can do is draw your own, support levels. You can put you a line here for the previous support level if you wanted to. But I'm going to show you that Engineering Robo also has auto support resistance lines as well. So before I get into that, here, let me get rid of my line there. And actually, trying to remember here. I thought I had lines on this. Well, I was just trying to see if I already had lines drawn for that one myself. But anyway, what you can do, there's some options here for Engineering Robo. You can click on orange support resistance lines. Currently, these are the settings, by the way, for spot trades. You can also put on the AI take profit signal. That'll tell you good areas to take profit as well. But if we put on the auto support resistance lines here, now you don't have to draw them yourself if you don't want to. But I would recommend learning how to. It's going to help you. These are more useful, in my opinion, on scalping or lower time frames. So I'm going to keep them off while we're talking about spot on the daily chart. So here we go. We did have a buy signal right there. We did get above the green cloud, and there is a technical pattern here where there was a breakout right there. So I drew my trend line. I connected it with these 2 highs right here, and it did break above that, and it retested it perfectly. I'll zoom in so you can see better. And so we're looking for our 3 out of 5 confirmations, right? We got buy signal, we're above the green cloud, and we got a breakout. Social intelligence score is green as well, although we didn't really need that. And smart money is not in just yet, but that's fine. So here we go. We're moving forward. We're staying above the green cloud. Everything's looking good. Slight dip under, but no sell signal, nothing like that. There's a take profit signal if you want it. But it wasn't really it wasn't a sell signal. Here's another take profit signal. So now we're getting some weakness under the cloud, right? So this take profit signal may be correct. Let's see. Okay, there's our first sell signal. We're under the cloud. We could draw this trend line here and say that we had a breakdown. We had a take profit signal, which this isn't really one of our confirmations, but we could still use it. We're below the cloud. We have a sell signal. There's more than enough here. The red social intelligence score tells us things are bearish. So even though smart money's still in, there was your sell signal, and you could have used any of this stuff right here. Breakdown, take profit signal, close below the green line. and retained a lot of, there's no round tripping here, right? You would have retained a lot of your profits from buying way down here. And you can see this thing, I don't think it ever recovered, although, it had some bounces since then, and I think it's getting ready to move up again, possibly. So if we get rid of the replay here, and I show you what the current price action looks like, here's where you would draw your trend line. It's broken above it there. You're still in the red cloud, but you got a buy signal, you got a breakout, you got a green social intelligence score. So this is a good enough signal to take a long. And the hope is that it'll just start moving up and get above this, do another green cloud push above, and then it's ready to go for much higher targets. But, there could be some sideways action still. We got the rate cuts coming up on the 18th to the 20th. I can't remember the date exactly. But, the bullish times are coming in October, I believe. And we'll just have to see what happens with that. But, right now, a lot of these alts are still consolidating. They're trying to break out and retest. They'll all be ready to move by October at some point, I believe. All right, OPUL, this is one I talk about a lot. I just wanted to show you what it looks like currently if you were looking to accumulate it. And we're going to see if, do we have our 3 out of 5 confirmations? We need 3 out of 5, remember. So let's just see. We've got a sell signal. We're below the red cloud. We got a red social intelligence score. So there's no way we could have 3 out of 5, right? Because we've only got 5 total, and there's 3 going against this trade currently. However, I really do like this setup a lot. If you type from bike, the number 4, sell, SAIL, and then type in OPUL, I've got a chart right here where I'm talking about, this real world asset token for music on blockchain is one of the best Wyckoff setups I've seen. If correct, then downside is done. I do believe, I did this back on September 5th, and we're on the 14th now. So see how this kind of mirrors this almost exactly. I believe this is just a retest that we're looking at currently, and then it's ready to move up. So this is more of a technical thing that I'm seeing. It's not really something that Engineering Robo is showing just yet, but there is some, it's trying to get back above that green cloud there. So if you were to see something like this, we're on the daily chart. I don't know where this top would be. It's possible that this is the technical pattern that it's trying to break out of currently. I can't say for certain just yet. And that's why waiting for Engineering Robo is going to keep you from more downside just in case there is more. So what we would need to see, of course, is a buy signal, or we need to see it get above the green cloud, or we need to see smart money in, which smart money doesn't really show up on here as being in until it's already made a pretty good move. Social intelligence score usually switches to green. That's one of the first things that shows up, and then you'll get a buy signal. Then you'll get your technical pattern breakout or something. Those are the first things that usually happen. So, these are the three things you want to watch for on this one anyway. I'm already in this token. I bought, I don't know, somewhere down there. I don't remember exactly where. Okay, so let's get into scalping. I know a lot of people, I asked in Discord, actually I'll bring that up, in my signal channel here, I said, how many of you leverage trade? Engineering Robo Creator has a strategy that has been making them money using Engineering Robo AI, and they're able to take advantage of shorting tokens that pump hard in a 24-hour period. So I told them if I had enough people interested, I'd do a video like this. So part of this is for them. So I had a bunch of people that were really interested in it. But I just want to let y'all know that leverage trading is very risky. You can lose a lot of money. I've done it before back in 2020 or whatever it was. I lost a ton of money. First I gained a lot and then I lost it. So it's not that I lost so much, from what I put in. It's just that I lost a lot of gains because I didn't really know what I was doing. But I've learned a lot since then. And so I can teach you what I've learned. And using Engineering Robo, you really, although you need to practice it, you don't really have to know much, because Engineering Robo is doing the work for you. But still, you do have to have some skill at it by practicing over and over and over until you feel comfortable with it. But that's anything, right? And that's just the way it goes when you're learning a new skill. All right, so let me just show you first here. Let's see, did they post it on here? Yeah, see, let's see, that's the alert channel actually. So if I go to the Engineering Robo, I mean, you can see a lot of the members here are making tons of money on this strategy. And you'll get access to these channels if you sign up through Engineering Robo. But anyway, he teaches how to do this in here. But I'm doing this video to help you learn, more easily, so you don't have to go looking for his posts if you decide to, join his channel to do this. But remember, you have to have Engineering Robo AI to do this. And I showed at the very beginning of the video how to sign up for that 7-day free trial. Just click the link below. So on this strategy, it's a lot different. There's actually 10 confirmations, that could be true, but you only need 5 of them. So there's more confirmations needed because you're doing a lower time frame view. So when this strategy becomes valid is when a coin gains 100% in a single day or 200% in 2 days. Then it becomes eligible for the volume and volatility strategy. So that's the name of the strategy right there. So it looks for weakness in a coin after a sharp 24-hour move. And he talks about tau right here. And I'm going to show you what he saw during that time frame, so you don't have to go and look at his post. I'm going to kind of break it down for you. Oh yeah, so what I want to show you before I begin that is, this is what those, here it is right here. This is what that volatility alerts look like. So right here, Meta Brawl, this was, when did this happen? I think this one happened within the last day. No, this one happened yesterday. So here's a really good example. Brawl up 200% over the last 24 hours. So this would have been a candidate to start watching. Or this one right here, Sin Futures, up 100% over the last 24 hours. So, leverage trading things like this, shorting these tokens after they make a big move up, they've got a lot of volatility. That's what makes it such a profitable trade. Because usually when you get a huge move like that, it's going to have to come down and retest, at least 50% of a move like that. But using Engineering Robo is going to help you find out when it's actually ready to move down. So here we go. Here's what we need to take a short on something like this. So we need and this is going to go along with what we talked about just now with spot trades. It's just on a much lower time frame. So when we feel like it's time to take spot trade profits, we need things like an AI sell, an AI take profit, cloud turning red, AI social intelligence score turning red, things like that. So those are going to be familiar to you already. But there's some other things to add to it on a lower time frame. So the 5-minute candle has to close below the HODL line, which is this orange line right here. I'll show you more of that in a second. Volatility has to be confirmed, which of course just means we have to make sure these are tokens that have moved up over 100% in the last 24 hours. So you can see right here on the dashboard, maybe you can't see that. I'm going to zoom in here for you. 173% volatility for this token that we're looking at currently over the last 24 hours. Let's see, what else do we need to see? So we need to see price below resistance, which that'll be these automated, here I'll show you the settings you're going to need. So just click all these on to do short scalping is what we're talking about, and then also have the orange support resistance lines on as well. All right, so the price has to be below resistance. I'm going to show you that here in a second when I start the replay. 15-minute trend has to be bearish. You can see that right here. It's still bullish. Smart money has to be balanced, which it is currently. And then downtrend line is really not applicable in this case because that would be more for a long. I think that's what he's talking about here, but I'm not certain. I think he's talking about since it's a short, you're doing it the opposite way. But sometimes there are ways to draw a trend line below, like we were talking about before. That would be your early warning, something like this. Your early warning that things may be rolling over soon. But this by itself can't be used. Okay, so let's send this forward a little bit, and we're going to start looking at the confirmations and see what we see. Okay, so that's what I was waiting for right there. I wanted to see a sell signal. So I'm going to bring this over here. We're going to zoom in and just see what we're talking about here. Okay, so remember, this orange line is called the HODL line. I can click it off here. It's going to go away. And then I'm going to click it back on and it's going to come back. All right, so this just means you can keep holding it, as long as it's above that line, but you need to consider short selling it if it falls below that line. But remember, we need other confirmations here. It can't just be that. So what do we have currently? We've got an AI sell signal. We're here on the 5-minute chart, by the way. We got an AI sell signal. We're below the HODL line. That's the orange line. Price action's below it. And we're below the cloud. It's gone from green to red, or it's about to anyway. So we've got 3 out of 5 there. What else do we see? Here's 4 out of 5. We've got an AI social intelligence score in the red and smart money's balance. So we actually have 5 of 10 things here. But we've also got things like prices below resistance right there. 15-minute trend is actually still bullish. Let's see. Volatility is confirmed. We did that. Okay. So let's just keep going forward here and see what we see out of it. So we got a temporary buy signal came back in, but it's creating a lower high, so that's showing weakness still there. Is there enough here to let go of our short? And remember, sizing is very important. Be careful with how much size you put on these trades. Be careful with how much. You can do a 20x on this, as far as your leverage, but you need to keep these numbers small, like 1% of your total portfolio, just to give you a chance. If you make some mistakes and things go against you, but you're still using the rules, eventually you're going to start making money. But just understand, sometimes the trade may not work out. But we're going to see, here we've got a buy signal. It's back above the cloud. It was back above the HODL line temporarily. AI social intelligence score was green. So technically, this one probably gave you a signal to get out of your short. But let's just see what would happen if you stayed in it. Okay, it actually did push back above and create a higher, what am I thinking? Double top. So it created a double top right here. And let's just see. You could have gotten out of your short here. That's what we were talking about. And just waiting for a better position. So it's still just kind of going sideways. And you could even wait until it got below this support level if you wanted, if you wanted to be super safe. But remember, all you have to do is find your 5 confirmations and you're good. So now we're back below the cloud. We're below HODL, AI sell signal, smart money's balanced. And what else? Yeah, cloud turned red. I think we talked about that already. So I think we've got 5 out of 10 here. But let's just wait for one more to be safe. Okay, so you lost your support right there. So multi-time frame is bearish, although that's not one of the things here. But it's clear that there's some bearish tendencies to this token now. And then all of a sudden you got a buy signal again. So, this is going to happen sometimes. I wanted to make sure that we saw, this in real time, what was happening. So you would have been out of your short there. Let's see what happens now. Okay, we got an AI take profit there. We needed to see that. I'm just waiting to see when we get our next AI sell signal. This is actually good for us that, maybe we're going to get a short that's higher up. Okay, we got a red cloud there. There we go. Okay. So we got our AI take profit. We got our sell signal. We got a red cloud. We're below HODL. We're below the resistance up here. This is current resistance, that red line right there. So there's 5 out of 10 right there. You could have taken your short as soon as this AI sell signal came in. Now, understand, I just want to mention something. Understand, scalping, you have to sit in front of your computer hours a day. So you have to be somebody that has a lot of time. Yeah, we're still under the cloud. We're still under support right there. It lost that support. Really, the resistance was way up here. This is looking like it could be a good short this time. Let's just see what happens here. Sometimes it takes a while for these to play out. This is many hours. There you go. Now you're really making money here. I don't know what let's see, you entered way up here on the sell signal. Let's see, that's 31% times, well, let's say you even did 10x leverage. You just made whatever it would be, 300% within a matter of hours. So again, you have to be somebody that has a lot of time. Of course, this thing could keep moving down, and it looks like it is. just flip your confirmations, right? Just wait until, there you go, you got a buy signal. So, one thing you can do is just wait till you get a buy signal and then start looking at your confirmations and see, if they're starting to flip the other way to where you need to take profits. Now, there's other things you can do, like go ahead and take your initial profits out on a 2x. If you make double your money, go ahead and take the initial profits out, especially if you're new to leverage trading. That'll save you from round tripping a lot of times as well. There's a lot of different rules you can set for yourself, but you need to decide what those are. So we're just looking for the reverse here. We got a buy signal. We got a green intelligence score. We are above the HODL line. That's 3. What else? Yeah, I already said we got the buy signals. 15-minute trend is still bearish, so I'm not really seeing anything there just yet. There we go. Okay, now it's really, the 15-minute went bullish all of a sudden right there. So that was your 5th confirmation on the 15-minute bullishness right there. I forgot to zoom in for you so you could see that. That's what I'm talking about. So you got 3 out of 5 or 5 out of 10 confirmations there, and I think it happened somewhere in here. So this was also an inverted head and shoulders right there. That was a pattern you could have been looking for. But going forward, this thing probably rejected again at the cloud, if I had to guess. I really don't know what happened to this token, going forward. I think it would be interesting just to see real quick here. Usually, they don't just pump right away. They'll have some kind of automatic rally, and then they'll roll over again. But if it starts to get back above these levels up here, then it's bullish again for sure. Anyway, you're not really you don't care about all this activity afterwards. You just want to make your quick trade and get out of it, move on to the next trade. I mean, this thing could consolidate for a long time. And it probably did. But anyway, remember, you're looking for that volatility. That's what you need to see. So if we jump over here, excuse me, to AVNT, I wanted to show one that's current, just in case you want to consider taking, some of these things that you're learning and do the 7-day free trial and apply it. Currently what we had, if we jump over here to a daily chart, I mean, you can see clearly, some huge moves out of this one. Yesterday it did 100%. So it's got that rule. I think it has to do 200% though. Yeah, so maybe this one hasn't really met the volatility rule just yet, unless it hit it here. It almost hit 200% on these 2 candles. So, I mean, it's close. I don't know if this one really falls within, the volatility idea, but it could. And it's one you could watch if there's no other, plays going on. So currently what you're looking at, this is your resistance line right here at about 85 cents, this red line. It rejected there, gave you a take profit AI sell signal. It's continuing to reject that, and it's still rolling over. So, it's possible. I'm just seeing here if, let's see, it's finding support there. I mean, if it lost this support here, then sure, you're going to fall some. There's no doubt. But currently you're bearish on the 15-minute. You're bearish on social intelligence score. You got a sell signal. You rejected resistance. You're above the HODL line though. So, if you were looking to take a short on this one, and I don't even know if there's perpetual. Yeah, there is actually. There's perpetual contract on Binance. So if this thing, if it came up a little bit and then started rolling back over and came, back below this HODL line, then yeah, I mean, I think you've got 5 out of 10 confirmations here that you could take this short, because it keeps rejecting that resistance there, and it's below the cloud, and there's a social intelligence score in the red, bearishness on 15-minute, smart money's balance. I mean, there's a lot of things going against it right now that would tell you that's a pretty good short trade to take. But just remember, you've got to watch it. You got to sit there and watch it every 5 minutes, or at least check in every 10 to 15 minutes. Because remember, each one of these candle bodies is a 5-minute candle. So, you really have to keep your eyes glued on the charts when you're going to be playing tokens like this. What else did I want to show you? Oh, was it HGPT? Okay, yeah. So HGPT we did talk about, but I did want to talk about one more thing. I mean, this is getting back into spot. But, one of the things that the Engineering Robo creator will tell you is that you need to learn how to draw your own lines. So these will help you, even though it has auto lines that'll draw for you. But you can see, I mean, you're just connecting on the monthly chart a line between, you know, multiple candle bodies here, or especially where they're connecting with, so you got your candle bodies plus your candles wicks right there. You're connecting as many of those as you can for your support. And then your resistance levels going back here, which really you start on the left candle and then work your way up or work your way to the right. But you can see here, these two candle bodies connect. This wick almost hits there. This wick hits there. So that's a good line. Actually, there's a resistance line right there as well. And then you've got these for connecting right there as well. So, you know, I drew these lines ahead of time, and HGPT actually rejected right at that. I'm calling, you know, bullish line above here, which really, I'll probably just keep it blank because that doesn't really matter as much. But, you know, support, this is a take profit level. This is another take profit level. If you were to play something like this, not financial advice, but anyway, you get the idea that it's good to also know how to draw your own lines. And then, you know, even if you don't have something like Engineering Robo, which I really think it is a useful tool, but I know not everybody has money to be buying something like that. But this one made a really nice move, and then it rejected today. I believe that even if it comes back up here, it's probably going to keep rejecting temporarily. Maybe have like a 50% to 60% pullback, and then it'll be ready to go again. So I just wanted to end with that. I'm going to do more of these videos in the future. Definitely let me know in the comments if there's something specific you want me to show. You know, I think, you know, there's two types of traders out there. There's some people that don't have much time and they just need to trade on a daily basis, or maybe every 2 days, look at a chart. You know, Engineering Robo works for that, and it works for scalping, but you have to decide what kind of trader you are. If you are a long-term holder, or if you want to take advantage of these little pumps that's happening out of alts right now. And it can be very beneficial. I mean, even if you look at, this is another thing we talk about in our group, where there's trend lines. You can, I mean, if you go to the weekly, you can see where rejection areas are using certain EMAs. And we talk about that in our group. If you're interested in seeing something like that, just click on the Discord link below and join us. But yeah, I mean, clearly this thing is bullish, but again, you have to decide what kind of trader you are before you start getting into something like scalping. You know, maybe you're somebody that's just too busy and you don't need that stress. You know, you need to you know, make that decision for yourself. Okay, well, let me know. Hit the like, hit subscribe. Let me know if there's anything else you want to look at, and we'll do another video in the future where we'll look at some other different strategies. But these are the two main strategies you can use right now to make a lot of money while these alts are pumping off their support levels. Okay, y'all take care.